Hey guys, it's Kylie. Welcome back to my channel. For today's look, I did a very warm, kind of bronzy look. I was inspired by this Natasha Denona silk eyeshadow. It was just one of the little free samples that you get to add on to your cart when you shop online, and they really sold me because now I want to buy the full palette. This little packaging for the little single shadow was really smart on their half because now I just see all the different little shadows that I'm missing out on, and this is the shade all over my lid, and it's gorgeous. I am very pleased with how it looks. I updated my schedule, so I'm posting new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. Make sure you're subscribed and ring the bell while you're at it so you don't miss out when I post new videos. And give this video a thumbs up. Without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so my brows are on. If you want to see that tutorial, I'll make sure to link it in the cards above, and now I'm just going to go in with the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Primer to prime my face. Like how moisturizing this primer is. Now I'm using the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer on the areas where my pores are a little bit bigger. For me, it's kind of in my T-zone and then around my nose. I'm going to use just a tiny bit of the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Foundation for just a little bit of coverage. I'm not packing on too much of this. I did a first impressions video on this foundation if you want to see that, so I can link that in the cards above as well. I'm just going to cover up my under eyes with the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Concealer. I like to focus that concealer on where I have the most darkness, and then I'll just prime my lids with it while I'm here. And then typically I like to blend out my concealer, at least under my eyes, with my fingers first, just to spread it out and get the most coverage, and then I go in with a sponge to really blend it out. But this way the sponge doesn't absorb it all right from the get-go. Now with the Coty Airspun Loose Powder, I am setting my concealer in place with a small velour puff. And then I'm taking just a small kind of loose powder brush, sweep away that excess and lightly set the rest of my face. This just prevents any kind of bronzer or blush or anything from skipping later on. Using my Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contouring Palette in Dulce de Leche just to add a little bit more definition to my skin. Warming up the face just a little bit more with the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. And I hit the high points of my face with my Essence Pure Nude highlighter and Be My Highlight. I'll highlight my brow bone while I'm at it. For blush, I'm using the Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in Party. This is my favorite kind of neutral blush for my skin tone. I'm just using the e.l.f. brow pencil to redefine my big freckle. From the e.l.f. and Jkissa to the Rescue palette, I'm taking Paloma just as my all-over transition shade, really blowing that color out. A little bit smaller brush, I am going to take Photo Op from the Pure Festival 2.0 palette. I just got this in my BoxyCharm box. I did an unboxing and I can link that video in the cards above too. Just want to play with this one again. Only used it once so far. One thing I've noticed about this palette so far is that you have to make sure you top your brush off just so you don't get fallout, because it's a very soft formula And so you get quite a bit of kickback in the palette. Oh man, I don't know if you can see that. But when you tap very lightly in it, there's just a lot of product that fluffs everywhere. Now I'm gonna take on Set just to deepen everything up, keeping that very close to that outer corner and just barely in the crease. And if you're having a hard time blending out your shades, you can always go in with your original brush that you used for the transition shade and not necessarily pick up any more product, but just use what's left over on that brush to blend everything out. I'm gonna do that right now. I want this to look just a little bit warmer, so I'm gonna pick up the smallest amount of pepper from that e.l.f. and Jkissa palette, just kind of fluff it everywhere. It just gives you a little bit more of a red tone brown look. Oh, good morning. Good morning. What are you here? That's good. Now I'm just going to take a combination of all of those shades on my lid. On my lower lash line, I'm starting off with the deeper brown on Set from the Pure Festival 2.0 palette, just on a really small brush. And I'm keeping that to the very outer corner and kind of connecting it up with our upper shades. I'm just taking kind of a pencil brush to blend that out. I'm gonna blend that out even further, just with pepper, again from the e.l.f. and Jkissa palette. I want a little bit of that yellow, so I'm gonna take Paloma and do the same. And now for the star of the show. This was just a free add-on from Sephora. You get little free samples when you order online. And so this is a single eyeshadow from Natasha Denona. This is in the shade Silk. It's from their new bronze palette that she came out with, and it's so pretty. I swatched it earlier. It's this one on my hand, and it just catches the light so nicely. I really wanted to use it today. There's just so much yummy reflect in it. I'm gonna take, let's see, I'm gonna get that brown off of the smaller brush that we used earlier. This is just the little quick color switch from Lavish. And I'm gonna take that shade right on the inner third of our lower lash line. And I'm gonna spray my brush with some setting spray. This is just the Milani Make It Last setting spray. So I'm gonna wet my brush and then dip into that shadow. Too much. Taking a clean brush just to kind of scoop that back up. There we go. That's better. I'm gonna take that on my inner corner a little bit too. I'm not necessarily going to leave that as just my plain inner corner, but it'll look nice to have it just wrapped all the way around the eye. I'll pop something a little bit brighter on there later. I'm bringing it up above the crease a little bit. With the e.l.f. Cream and Sugar Bite Size eyeshadow palette, I'm just going to take that champagne shade and pop that over Silk on my inner corner, just to brighten things up a little bit. And then I want to try this guy out again. It's the StudioMakeup Endurance Cream eyeshadow in the shade Pink. And so I'm just going to scoop a little bit onto the back of my hand and then pick it up with a very fluffy kind of pointed brush. Just gonna swirl it around and really get it into the bristles, and then lightly tap it on my inner corner. I don't want to disrupt any of the eyeshadow underneath. I just want to add a little bit more sparkle. I'm not quite sure how I feel about this formula yet. I'll pop a tiny bit on the very center of the lid. Now with the Kat Von D tattoo liner in Trooper, I'm just gonna line my lid and give myself a little baby wing. Now from that Cream and Sugar Bite Size palette from e.l.f., I'm gonna take that dark brown and put it just on that very inner tear duct area, just for a little bit more definition. For lips, I'm gonna pat on a little bit of the Colourpop Ultra Blotted Lip in Vitamin C. And I'm gonna top that off with just a little bit of the Sephora Lip Stories Tinted Balm in Do Me a Favor. It's a little bit warmer than I want. I'm actually gonna go over that with Are You Jealous instead of Do Me a Favor. The other one was just a little bit too peachy. Filling my lashes and throwing on some of the L'Oreal Bambi Eye Mascara. And that's the finished look. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on Tuesday.